Hi there, this is John Browning with Guardian Rock Wealth, and I understand and I know that there are a lot of people out there who are over 50 and don't have anything saved for retirement, or you're over 50 and you only have what you might consider a little bit saved for retirement. And what I want to give you today are 5 things to do if you are over 50 or you're at 50 or maybe you're even 60 and you don't have anything saved for retirement or don't have what you consider to be enough saved for retirement. Number 1, do not beat yourself up. You are in good company. There are a lot of Americans out there today who do not have any or much saved for retirement. And once you get done feeling sorry for yourself and lamenting the fact and saying it's too late and all the other excuses that we all give ourselves, give yourself a pat on the back for recognizing, because you clicked on this video, that you maybe need some help and you need to do something. Okay, so first of all, I want you to realize that we are living longer. We are likely, if we are in our 50s and 60s, the reason I say that is because I am in my 50s, okay? And so I've been there, done that. I've been doing this for 34 years. And I will tell you that we have likely a lot more life left. If we have made it to 50, if we have made it to 60, the likelihood that we will make it, according to the statisticians, that we're going to make it into our late 80s is extremely high. The likelihood that we are going to make it, frankly, to be a centurion is pretty high as well. And we're living not just longer, but also healthier lives. Now, in one way that could scare us, right? Will I run out of money in retirement because I have a lot longer that I may not be working? But how that should encourage you is that you may well have longer than you think to capitalize on your biggest asset. Your biggest cash flowing asset is you. Your ability to earn money is your biggest asset. Now, one of the other things that is a really big asset is your mindset. So this thing right here and how you think about money may need to change. And we're going to talk about that here if you are going to get ahead of the game and dig yourself out of this hole. We're even going to give you a couple bonus things at the end of this video, ideas for if maybe not only do you not have anything saved for retirement, but maybe you're in the hole. We can give you some ideas for that. So number 1 is don't beat yourself up. Stop it, get over it, and start moving forward. Next thing to do is really just to take inventory of your current situation. So you can accomplish a lot in 5 years and even in 10 years, certainly even more in 15 years. Again, your greatest asset is your ability to earn an income. And frankly, at 50, you're able to earn a lot more than when you were 20, I'm guessing. That's most likely the case. So your ability to earn an income is extremely important. And it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. I'm sure many of you have heard that already. And surprise, high income to savings rate. Now, the weird thing is a lot of times those who have a high income have a very low savings rate. You need to switch that around, right? Think about how you would go back to spending what you spend in your 20s or your 30s. Now, maybe you can't do that. You own a bigger house, you have more debt, whatever. We're going to, again, talk about that at the end of this video. If you are in debt, how to get out of it the right way, the best way, and all of that. But take stock of where you are. What your real situation is. Be honest with yourself. Put it down on a piece of paper, on a spreadsheet, somewhere where you can see it. And frankly, to get your mental state there, I would suggest put it up on a wall somewhere. Now, maybe that's in a closet. You don't want anybody to see it, whatever, but put it up somewhere and track your progress, because you're going to make some progress after this video. Number 2, know your numbers. And this goes right along with number 1, taking stock of where you are. Know your inflows and understand your outflows. So we've seen a lot of those advertisements. Hey, if you get this app, it's going to track all those things that you're spending money on that maybe you didn't know. Those are real and they work really well. So you might consider doing that, or just simply look at your credit card statements. And you may be surprised. We do this on a regular basis, my wife and I. We look at all the things that have accumulated. We didn't even know, oh my goodness, they're charging us monthly for that. And maybe it's $10, $9.99, whatever it is. Some firms are notorious for doing that. And suddenly you end up with these things, and are you even using it? If you are using it, do you really need it? You can save some money there and maybe set aside some either for paying down debt or for adding to those retirement funds. So know your numbers. What you measure gets done. If you're a senior level executive or even a lower level manager or something like that, given that you're in your 50s, you know if you measure progress, that is the key, one of the major keys to getting something done. Then number 3, okay, and this goes right along with 1 and 2, is do that 30-day spending audit. Okay, so it's not quite the same as number 2. What you're going to do is you're going to write down, I know this is a pain in the rear end. We're going to acknowledge that. We're going to sigh. Everybody take a deep breath. Just do it. You may find out that when you do that spending audit, and we're talking even those little things that you spend, maybe you're at the gas station and you spend, $2 on a pack of gum or some Mentos. Do you really need to do that? Is it something that brings you joy? If it is, then by all means, spend the money on it. I'm not one of those folks that says if your life revolves around that, $8 latte, and that truly brings you joy, you go ahead and spend it. All right, because taking all the joy out of your life is not the idea behind these steps to getting where you need to be. But are there things that really you could cut out? You could do without, and they might save you that $8 times 30 days in a month, or if it's just on the work days, 10, maybe that's 20 days or something like that. Another thing that I found when I was working on Wall Street is every day I would go out to lunch, and it would cost me $10, $15 a day, sometimes more. If I wasn't going out with a client, I couldn't expense that. And suddenly that started to really add up. And of course, I didn't pay much attention to it because I'm a high earner, right? I can buy lunch if I want to. But if you don't have anything saved for retirement, that might be one way to get a couple $100 a month and start contributing to that retirement account. We're not even getting into what types of retirement that you should be contributing to, or what types of maybe even non-retirement accounts. That's for a different video. But this is like your first 3 steps. Number 4, again, keep more of your money now. That makes you empowered later to have financial freedom. So by maybe restricting yourself in one way, and one of the things that I always tell young people, but it goes for people our age as well, is that restricting things for just a while, suddenly you begin to not even notice it. When you buy that car, suddenly you stop really noticing that payment every month. And the same thing goes when you start contributing to your retirement account. If you do it consistently, every single paycheck, suddenly you don't even miss that amount of money that's not going to your bottom line. It is going to your bottom line, but it's going towards your retirement. And it will slowly happen over time. One of the things that I boil my whole life down, my whole strategy down into is consistency is key. Okay, the one word is consistency. If you do things consistently, that will become part of who you are. And that will eventually make you successful, in my opinion and in my experience. Okay, so number 5 is think outside the box. You might be able to, and this is going to sound crazy, and oh, come on, John, I'm not going to do that. But seriously, over the last 50 years, from when you were a kid to now, especially if you've had kids and they've been through the house, maybe you need to call them up and say, hey, if you don't come get your stuff, we're having a garage sale. We're putting it out on, Facebook Marketplace. We're putting it somewhere where maybe we can raise a few bucks to get us started on our retirement. Think outside the box with things like that. Maybe it's picking up a side gig. And we hear a lot about that and which ones actually work, which ones don't. If you have a nice car and you've got a few extra minutes on the weekends or something like that, or even on the weekdays, maybe you pick up an Uber job, a Lyft job, something like that. Think outside the box and live just for 1 year. Try living at a lower rate of speed, so to speak. Now, if you can do that for 1 year, you may find you could do it for 2, and it didn't really steal any of your joy. Think outside the box. So the other thing is, if you've had kids and you've sent them to college, Think about how you did that then. Did you have to tighten your belt? Did you save for college? And maybe that's why you don't have any money left right now for retirement. Maybe you didn't save for those college costs and you paid the money out. How did you do that? How did you continue to maintain your standard of living and pay those tuition bills? Think about how you did something at some point and figure out where that money went and maybe use that. These are just ideas for thinking outside the box. All right, now here we are. We're going to go into the bonus round. Okay, those were the top 5 things. I'm going to give you a few more. If you were thinking of retiring at 65, remember what I said at the beginning. We are living longer and, frankly, healthier lives. So 65 is kind of outdated. The average American right now is retiring, and actually, I believe it's now 60, right around 62, 63, 64. Not even making it to 65. And I understand you may be in a horrible job that you don't like, but consider work until you're 70. Maybe that makes sense for you. And there's a whole video out there, by the way, on whether or not to take Social Security proceeds sooner rather than later. And that really is a complex issue that people think it's just really simple, but you really need to talk to a professional and really think through the math on what is right for you. And a lot of that has to do with taxes and how much you're going to be taxed. Now, if you can do all of these things that we're talking about, maybe you take Social Security early, but if you're working, then that Social Security may be taxed, all the while you're still contributing to Social Security. So it may not make a lot of sense to take Social Security early while you're still working. But maybe there is something else that you can do. And maybe, quite possibly, it's not all about the investment performance that you have. Maybe some of the idea is, rather than that get rich quick scheme that maybe you're hearing about and you're getting desperate about thinking about, oh, I'm going to try and do 100% of everything I have, I'm going to throw it into Bitcoin or the latest hot stock that you see on CNBC. Maybe rather than doing that, you just want to be consistent and make sure that you have the right kind of investments, the right accounts that are going to, when you retire and start drawing out that income, that those are going to be actually tax-free. The difference between tax-free money and tax-free cash flow in retirement and taxable cash flow, like come from your 401k or your regular IRA or things like that, can be astronomical. They really shock people when you actually do the math on that and you actually look at how that works. So I really encourage you to get some help. Reach out to us, GuardianRockWealth.com. Just all we do is we talk to you. We're not going to sell you anything, but we want to help you get to where you need to be. The other thing is, and this goes beyond kind of the financial stuff, is move. Just move. Make sure you're not just sitting there in front of the TV or sitting there at night just thinking about, how horrible things are and how you don't have any money. Really, this helps your mentality. Just getting out and moving. It doesn't mean you have to go to the gym and lift a bunch of weights. It doesn't mean that you have to run 20 miles. Just get out there, walk a little bit, go outside. And, hopefully if you're up north, maybe you can't do that in December or January, and maybe you have to go to the gym there. Just walk around the track, just think, listen to some music. Seriously, I am dead serious. This will begin to help you if you do that, once again, consistently. That positive mental attitude can make all the difference in the world. So I hope that's just a few things to help encourage you, if you're 50 and you haven't saved anything for retirement, how to get there. And once again, I want to go just back and review and make sure that you heard me when I said that setting up the right kind of accounts, and often you don't hear about what these are in the mainstream news because it tends to be just all talk about the latest hot stock or whether or not we're going into recession tomorrow or not, all those things. All those are important. They're important for maybe an investment professional to know and be aware of. For the general public, though, that's investing for the long term, for 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, it's all about consistency. And the next thing it's about is that it's at watching how you're investing now so that you have less taxes when you go to withdraw those funds out. And there is very careful mathematical ways to go about deciding when to make those moves and how to make those moves, which accounts work for you and which don't. And there is whenever you hear somebody say you should always invest in a Roth or you should always convert to a Roth, or you should always do one thing or another, rest assured, they're probably not your best bet to talk to. You want to talk to somebody who's well-rounded, who knows that there is no wrong answer. There is only not doing it. That may be the wrong answer. But prioritize a few things, make a few subtle changes a little bit at a time. Don't do everything at once. And over time, that consistency will get you where you need to go. Again, don't beat yourself up. This is where most, frankly, Americans are today. And you can beat that retirement clock if you start, if you actually make those moves. I'd love to chat with you. This is John Browning with Guardian Rock Wealth at guardianrockwealth.com. You can even text the word, grab your phone, text this number and text the word life to this number. Text 321-421-5213. And I'll also have all my information down in the show notes. Love talking with you. This is John Browning, Guardian Rock Wealth. Have a great day, everybody.